Coming up tonight, do you love your Ole Miss athletics?
Well, Derek, I sure do.
Well, we're going to take a look at the newest way you can support your Ole Miss Rebels.
Also at 5, are you looking to get in shape before summertime? We'll hear about the latest fitness trends making its way to Oxford.
And later on, we'll see how horse meat could be making its way into your diet.
I'm Brittany Acuff.
And I'm Derek Spencer. Keep it local, keep it here. You're watching NewsWatch 99. We start off the broadcast with tonight's top story, a look at how the new Ole Miss Athletics Foundation with NewsWatch reporter Bracy Harris.
Thanks, Derek. In his first 100 days at Ole Miss, newly hired athletic director Ross Bjork has shaken things up, and he's not done yet. Straight off of the Forward Together campaign, Bjork is at the helm of another project, once again involving the Ole Miss fan base. The UMAA Foundation will now be known as the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. There's no word yet whether or not an acronym will be attached. The foundation promises to deliver inclusiveness, stewardship, simplicity, and philanthropy. The key word here is inclusiveness. Membership dues start at $50, opening up new opportunities for Ole Miss fans, alumni, and even students. So how does this work? Remember the video game Mario? I know it's somewhere back in your closet along with your Sega that the $40 from GameStop was not enough to make you part ways with. Only this time it's in reverse. Instead of collecting gold coins to advance to the next level, you have to give them. When you join, you can get a cool car decal, which lets everyone on the highway know that you went to the best university. The more you give, the more you advance. The Builder's Circle of the Vault Society, which is the highest level, will cost you a cool $1 million. The program will benefit over 400 student athletes. Forward Rebels, I'm Bracy Harris.
Thanks, Bracy. President Obama and congressional leaders left the White House without a resolution to end the nation's across-the-board spending cuts. These cuts, which went into effect today, could last not only weeks, but months. In a speech today, President Obama discussed the dangers of sequestration. Take a look.
These are dumb, arbitrary cuts to things that businesses depend on and workers depend on, like education and research and infrastructure and defense. It's unnecessary, and at a time when too many Americans are still looking for work, it's inexcusable.
The president also wants to avoid a clash with Congress that could shut down the government at the end of March, even if it means allowing these across-the-board cuts to remain in place for months.
Well, it appears that concealed gun owners in Mississippi do not need to worry about their information being available to the public. House Bill 485 seeks to put concealed carry permit information in the same category of things such as medical records and tax documents. This means the information is not available through Freedom of Information request. As of now, information requests regarding concealed gun owners is being delayed by the Mississippi Department of Public Safety because of the expectation that Governor Phil Bryant will sign House Bill 485 into law. Currently, 31 other states have made concealed gun owners' information private.
After the tragic Sandy Hook shooting, schools across the nation are taking additional steps to make sure our teachers and students are safe, and Lafayette County has followed suit. Last week, the district hosted a professional development day where the topic was school safety. Lafayette County High School had new tempered glass installed, which makes it harder for people to break into the building. They also have a new ID system in place for students. School resource officers are also being used across the Oxford-Lafayette areas. These officers are Lafayette County's sheriff deputies that work on campus to ensure student safeties.
Could Mississippi soon see a teacher shortage? Some university leaders believe this could occur if the legislature adopts one of Governor Phil Bryant's new education proposals. One of the governor's proposed plans looks to change the requirements used to admit college students to the state's 8 teacher preparation programs. Students would have to score at least a 21 on the ACT and earn a 3.0 GPA in recent college courses to be eligible for the teacher preparation program. Currently, some universities have lower requirements, and about half of the students that are currently in programs would be disqualified under the new standards.
Citizens of Oxford have many places to work out, but a new type of fitness training program called CrossFit has become so popular that a new gym is set to open today in Oxford. Mayor Houston Matthews shows us what the buzz is all about.
21 push-ups in a row before moving on to the next exercise. This is CrossFit. CrossFit is a workout that is popular around the nation. CrossFit gym owner and certified trainer Brady Williamson thought he was in shape until he tried CrossFit.
And by Army standards, I was in pretty good shape. But my cousin was starting CrossFit. He had been doing CrossFit for a couple of years at college and in his garage, and he put me through my first workout of the day, or WOD, and I thought I was going to die.
CrossFit has a WOD, or workout of the day. It consists of things like multiple reps of sit-ups, pull-ups, and hand-release push-ups. Each person tries for their best time, and the next time you work out, it's all about beating your previous time.
I think CrossFit is a good way to work out because it gives you variety in your workout, something new every day, and it's not monotonous.
Williamson adds a spiritual aspect to his workout by offering a scripture, WOD, or word of the day.
I fought the good fight, I finished the race, I kept the faith.
Being a strong Christian, he believes if you can put time into working out, you can put time into praying or reading the Bible.
I think it's well worth your time to focus on some scripture. There's a lot of people that go through an entire day or entire week without reading the Bible. Here, you're going to have at least a little bit of it every day.
Whether your goal is to get fit in body or soul, or both, CrossFit may be worth checking out. I'm Mary Houston Matthews for NewsWatch.
Thanks, Mary Houston. Coming up after the break, we'll hear some shocking details surrounding a deadly sinkhole in Florida.
Also, find out which former NBA star is friends with an infamous world leader.
And later, we'll take a look at this Friday's Top 5 with Nick Andrews.
All this and more coming up on NewsWatch 99.
Can we expect some more snow in this weekend's forecast? Stay tuned to find out when Stormwatch returns.
A Florida man is presumed dead after a sudden collapse into a sinkhole late last night. The man was sleeping when the 30-foot wide sinkhole opened up, swallowing his whole bedroom. Other relatives in the house were uninjured, but a deputy had to rescue the victim's brother, who went into the sinkhole to try and save the man. The exact depth of the sinkhole is yet to be determined. Authorities are waiting for an engineering crew's monitoring equipment to arrive in order to further understand the situation. One sinkhole expert calls this event very unusual. He says there is usually some warning when a sinkhole begins to collapse.
Could horse be your new dining meat of choice? The U.S. is very close to opening a horse meat processing plant in the next 5 years. A horse slaughterhouse in Roswell, New Mexico recently received the word from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The department says that they are moving forward with the Valley Meat Company's application to begin horse slaughter operations. Valley Meat Company partners sued the USDA last year in order to have them provide federal meat inspectors for the slaughterhouse. The company hopes the slaughterhouse to slaughter and process horse meat in order to export it to China and European countries. Horse meat cannot be sold for human consumption in the U.S., so luckily you can stick to ordering chicken at your favorite restaurant.
Former NBA star Dennis Rodman is making news this week in his travels to North Korea with Harlem Globetrotter players. While the U.S. State Department calls this a private trip by a private citizen, Rodman did engage in talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and was even filmed hugging the dictator. Their meeting seems to have been positive, according to North Korea's state-sponsored news agency. The news agency says the North Korean leader told Rodman he hopes a sports exchange between the United States and North Korea would be activated. Many believe such an exchange could lead to a better understanding between the two countries. However, many still remain opposed to North Korea in the wake of their nuclear tests last month.
Cape Canaveral is finally back in action today with the launch of the unmanned Dragon capsule. The SpaceX craft was en route to the space station when it encountered a problem. 4 of its thrusters failed to fire up. The malfunction occurred shortly after the capsule separated from the Falcon 9 rocket that launched earlier today and achieved orbit.
Well, it appears we will be seeing some changes to Facebook soon. Facebook is set to unveil a new look for its news feed on March 7th to the press. Currently, Facebook is keeping its design plans secret until next week, but according to TechCrunch, the new design is likely to focus on Facebook's mobile app. In January, Facebook hosted a similar event for the press when it unveiled its new search tool known as Graph Search.
Every state in the union will soon be present at Ole Miss next week, but they will be represented in the form of a traveling map. Ole Miss students, elementary students, and the general public can experience the map from Monday to Thursday at the Jackson Avenue Center. This detailed map allows for students to dive in feet first into geographic illustrations of oceans, seas, rivers, mountains, countries, and capitals. Well, it was the first day of March, but I guess let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Well, let's find out our current forecast with Christine Lee at the Stormwatch Weather Center.
Christine.
And when we thought Winter Wonderland was all done and over with, it's March 1st and still winter. The current temperature is a little above freezing with quite some wind, coming at a force of 9 miles per hour. We did see little flakes of snow here and there throughout the day, feeling much chillier at a temperature of 29. Taking a look at our satellite, we see some strokes of cold front having already passed us by this morning when it snowed a little. As we can see, most of Mississippi is already covered by a milder but still very cold air expected to carry on throughout tonight and into tomorrow as well. Moving on to our next slide, we will be looking at the regional temperatures of now. Currently, we see different variations of 37 and 36 among South Haven, Holly Springs, Corinth, Oxford, and Tupelo. On to the temperatures for tomorrow. The highs will actually be much lower than the current temperatures now. South Haven would be much lower. South Haven would drop from 37 to 36, and Holly Springs would be down to a 34. Moving on to tonight's low, it could be one of the coldest nights of the week with a low of 25. Light snow is expected to become heavier throughout the night and continue on into Saturday. So to all the drivers out there, tonight just might not be a great idea. And taking a look at tomorrow's high is a 36 with even more snow. So ladies, keep those boots on, and you might just want to hang on to those heels until it starts warming up on Sunday. For tomorrow's night, you don't have to worry about the snow sticking if you're planning to drive. Now moving on to our 5-day forecast, we have light and cold weather into Saturday with a freezing low of 24. Sunday is predicted to be sunny, warming up into Monday, reaching a peak of 60. And from Tuesday, it'll start to drop once again in temperature, but hopefully not as cold as tonight.
Well, luckily, it'll be just a little bit warmer tomorrow for the big event when people are going out into the community, so we won't have any snow to expect?
Well, tonight you can expect a little bit of snow, but hopefully it'll start warming up on Sunday.
Well, that is great because we like to have warm weather for our sports. Now let's head over to Zach Sportsman at the Sports Watch Sports Desk.
Thanks, Brittany. Ole Miss will try to sweep our weak rivals from down south Saturday, but can you expect the Bulldogs to put up a fight? Keep it here for Sports Watch, covering local sports like no one else. The Rebels head to Starkville this Saturday in the hopes of their first series sweep of the Mississippi State Bulldogs since 1998. Ole Miss is coming off of a much-needed win against Texas A&M this past Wednesday, and they need to beat Mississippi State to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. Senior Murphy Holloway scored 16 points and 9 rebounds. Sophomore Jarvis Summers contributed to the win by adding 15 points and 4 assists to give the Rebs an 82-73-point victory over the Aggies. A win on Saturday would give the Rebels 11 SEC victories for this season. Tied the second most in school history, game time will be at 4 p.m. and will be televised on Fox Sports Network. The Ole Miss women's basketball team travels to Fayetteville on Sunday to take on the Razorbacks of Arkansas in their final game of the season. The Rebels lead the series between the two teams 23-12. Ole Miss is going to have to rebound from their 90 to 65-point loss to Kentucky Thursday night. Tia Fowler scored 14 points and recorded her career high of 14 rebounds against number 10 Kentucky. Tia Fowler leads the team in scoring, averaging 11.7 points per game, followed by Valencia McFarland, who averages 11.3 points per game. Arkansas is 17-11 overall and 5-10 in the SEC. The game will begin Sunday at 2 p.m. The number 8 Rebels prepare to take the field in a weekend series against Florida International in Miami, Florida. With last weekend's sweep against the Rams of Rhode Island, it is the first time the Rebs have opened their season with back-to-back sweeps since 2008. The Rebels rebounded from their 4-3 loss to Memphis by defeating Arkansas Pine Bluff 7-2 on Wednesday. Freshman pitcher Brady Bramlett had a memorable first start against Arkansas Pine Bluff on Wednesday by pitching 7 strikeouts and allowing only 2 hits and no walks in 5 scoreless innings. Bobby Wall prepares to make his 3rd start of the season facing Florida International on Friday evening. Friday's game will start at 5 p.m., Saturday's game at 3 p.m., and Sunday's game will start at noon. The Memphis Grizzlies travel to Miami to take on the Heat tonight at American Airlines Arena. Memphis looks to record the longest winning streak in franchise history and tries to prevent Miami from recording their second longest. With Miami having a 12 consecutive winning streak and LeBron James playing some of the best basketball of his career, the Heat are currently the spotlight of the NBA. James averaging 29.8 points per game and is shooting 65% during this win streak. James says in his words exactly, "We're doing it the right way. We're executing offensively, we're sharing the ball." This past Wednesday, the Grizzlies matched the biggest comeback in franchise history by coming back from a 25-point deficit in the second quarter to beat Dallas 90-84. Memphis forward Austin Day says in his words exactly, "This win gives us a lot of confidence going into Miami, and we're looking forward to going down there." Game time will be at 8 p.m.
Well, I know that the Ole Miss is definitely favored Saturday. State's had an off year. So the question is, do you think that Ole Miss is going to make it into the tournament this year?
I think we got a shot. We got a shot, definitely. Mississippi State is definitely a must-win, and it comes down to our defense. Our defense is going to have to play tough.
I think every game here out's a must-win, but a lot of people have us on the last 4 in, so it's looking good for the Rebels on the basketball court. And then you think, how do you think they're going to play at FIU this weekend on the baseball diamond?
They've been doing well. That loss to Memphis, I think, I don't think it'll hurt them at all. I think they still have their confidence, and I think they pull off a win, definitely.
It sure looks like a promising season for them. So good things right now for Ole Miss athletics. That's our broadcast for tonight. If you only caught part of the show, make sure to watch us again at 10 on Channel 99. For NewsWatch, I'm Derek Spencer.
And I'm Brittany Acuff. You can also watch the show online at thedmonline.com/newswatch. Thanks for joining us here again at NewsWatch 99. Good night.